What's happening? Let's get this party started.
He ain't no Saint Germain, no crown, no name. He plays the game, sharp as a flame. Who's to blame for the stolen fame? A shadow dance in the devil's frame. Caught in a rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on a stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. City lights and sirens scream, truth and lies blend like a dream. Wicked smiles, a clever scheme, chasing gold in the neon gleam. Caught in a rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. Fast, can't find the ground. Echoes of chaos all around. You chose this dance, this mad parade, but not every choice gets accolades. Caught in a rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. Spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. City lights and sirens scream, truth and lies blend like a dream. Wicked smiles, a clever scheme, chasing gold in the neon gleam. Going down the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole.
All right, welcome to Not My Rabbit Hole. Today is Sunday, August 24th, and I hope that you all had a wonderful week. I had quite the week. I did start back on college on my studies. I'm going for an MFA in creative nonfiction. And I went to my first couple classes, and it was exciting. And I also started a new job. I'm a senior reporter at Fresno State. So I'm working on my first article, just letting you know like how my week was. And I'm really happy to have some time this Sunday to do a stream on Not My Rabbit Hole. There's something that I want to share with you. Oh, I see like a couple of you guys have come in this morning. Happy Sunday. Hi, Paul Shields. Nice to see you here again. And I want to welcome Paul. You've been with me here for a while. I've seen you pop into a lot of my chats over, since I started. I think since I pretty much started Not My Rabbit Hole. And there's some people that come and stop in to Not My Rabbit Hole when I was doing Freedom of Joyce and when I was on American Freedom Radio and Revolution Radio. And so, there's been an evolution of us, still hanging around on this media. And I just want to say thank you. I do appreciate you being here. Also, there's new people. I've gotten a lot of new subscribers in the last couple of months. And my shorts have been doing quite well and everything. And so I'm wondering if that's part of the new subscribers. But overall, I just want to thank you for being here, and make sure to like and share with your friends if you do like Not My Rabbit Hole. This particular channel, this particular a podcast that I created back in 2020. I started Not My Rabbit Hole during COVID when we were in lockdown, and a friend of mine was doing a podcast on Anchor, and he was a writer and part of a group of people that do poetry, and asked me if I would come on and be a guest on his show. I knew him from living in Pasadena, and then I saw the Anchor platform, and what I like about Spotify, because now it's become Spotify, is that also it uploads me to Apple Podcasts, and it's associated to different platforms, and if you get approved within those, then you do one upload, and Not My Rabbit Hole gets out there on all kinds of different platforms, and it brings your people listening to you, it brings that up a little bit. And so when I was in college, I kind of fell back on the Spotify stuff. And so it was like almost like maybe a year or more. It could have even been 2 years that I did not upload anything to my Spotify podcast. But I want to show you that I did upload something this morning. I started this summer. I decided to focus on it again. And I want to just show you what it looks like. And I'm just going to bring a link in here. If you do want to follow me on Spotify or my content there, but this is my channel, what it looks like. That's not what I wanted to show you. It's a different one that I had pulled up. Yeah, no, sorry. That wasn't this isn't exactly, that's what it looks like on my Spotify, but this is the episode that I just uploaded, and it was something that I did here, but it's the episodes Hidden Connections, Donald Trump, Les Wexner, Epstein's Hidden Connections, Donald Trump, Les Wexner, and Jean-Luc Brunel. And I uploaded this this morning, and it's basically the audio version of a stream that I did here on YouTube. And if you are unfamiliar with it, I'll make sure that later on in the description I have it there. But I might play a little bit of that just to wet your whistle on what it's about at the end of this episode. It's not the main focus of what I'm doing here on Not My Rabbit Hole. Really, I mean, it is, right. I mean, the Spotify podcast is important, but and there's sometimes where I'm on the Spotify podcast and it might be completely different than anything that I put on YouTube or Substack or anything like that. But okay, so let me just get to the point. I want to share something with you in one of my classes. I'm going for my Master's of Fine Arts in a genre of creative writing called creative nonfiction writing. And so I do have one of those classes this semester. And my professor that I'm taking turned us onto a book. And it's called The Book of Alchemy, A Creative Practice for an Inspired Life. And it also features a lot of essays written by other people on it. And it's about journaling. It's about making a commitment to do something creative every single day, even if it's small, even if it's just like, I'm going to paint, I'm going to doodle every day, I'm going to take a picture every day, I'm going to create a new song on suno.com every day. So what I thought for me, and because, sometimes when I do start getting into college, right, I tend to, put like Not My Rabbit Hole on the back burner and not focus on it as much because, I've got assignments, whatever. But I figure if I do something every day, about Not My Rabbit Hole or my platform, like whether it's like I write a Substack article, or I do a video on Substack, or I do a video on YouTube, or I make a short out of like one of my streams, because the Spotify that I just showed you, the one about like Epstein's connections, I made a lot of shorts out of it, and I added some B-roll to those shorts, and they got good hits. It's a little bit of information in a small amount of time, and even like what I delved into on that particular podcast, I feel like I can like even dissect it and do even more on it, especially since the topic of Epstein's client list is so prevalent in the media. And I did do a deep dive research into some things that I don't think a lot of people know about. For example, Jean-Luc Brunel. We don't focus enough on it. We know there's a lot of us here that know about Jean-Luc Brunel, but his modeling agency and his association to Jeffrey Epstein goes way back, even into the 80s, where there was a 60 minutes show hosted by Diane Sawyer in this episode about what was happening in the modeling industry, and how their practices were, and how there would be a predator. The owners of the agency would be predatory and doling them out to princesses and highfalutin people, and the elite. That was going on. It's been going on for a really long time, and there in this podcast, I found some interesting connections between everyone, and because even Donald Trump had a modeling agency, and Ivanka was in his agency at some point. So I believe, and this is, and I think, like, when we talk about why we're here in this community, right, or what attracted you to media, right, that talked about this particular topic, and also associated it to other notable individuals, let's say like Michael Aquino or something like that. Like what made, like, because a lot of these things that I'm going to share today, a lot of the things that I want to examine on this particular topic, and yes, it is a Super Soldier Sunday, because the people that we're going to look at today, and I picked a couple people. Oh, by the way, let me get to the point about the alchemy and the book before I move on. So here's the deal. My commitment is that I'm going to still be prevalent, and every day I'm going to do something about Not My Rabbit Hole. And, if you do want to follow what I do create, and I feel like I have a varying degree of topics that I talk about. And I feel like, because of the fact that I have gotten a degree in journalism, and that I'm working on an MFA in creative nonfiction writing, and that I have taken courses in multimedia, like filming and podcasting, I feel like I've elevated my ability than it was previously before I went to college. And the palette of conversations that you might hear here on Not My Rabbit Hole, or have how they may be presented to you, is definitely, I would say, I would expect it to be different. I already know that my channel is different than it was 2 months ago, because this summer I did spend a lot of time rebranding and repopping my channel and getting remonetized as well. So if you do want to support me with a kind super chat, that would be wonderful. If you want to have a question that you want me to highlight, by all means, it's welcome. And as Stephen Cambion says, praise the cash. But here's the deal. There's things that have happened to me on YouTube, and in this experience of creating in a genre of media that has to do with conspiracies and UFOs, and even this paradigm of spirituality that is imposed in a lot of these narratives. And I but what's weird about it, like those of you who've been around a long time, you might listen to a show like Project Camelot with Carrie Cassidy, or read the host Carrie Cassidy's posts on X, and she will talk about the manipulation that religions have on our reality, and that it's used by the people who are in power anyway to control the masses. And in a way, we can see movements that have actually even been negative that have done it in the face of Christianity. And so historically, as people, we've destroyed each other over these particular concepts. Now, oh, Paul, hey, you found me through Stephen Cambion. Awesome. Thank you. I think that's great. Because Stephen and I, we're kind of like on the same trajectory in terms of busting some fake grifters on the internet, and they come in many forms. And lately I have been observing them, and just even noticing like certain patterns. So yeah, today we are going to focus on a guy named David Schurter, all right, who came out, I guess I noticed him in association to the show Lift the Veil with Nathan Stoltman, whom, even though this became like a political trajectory for things that, that happened on his show, is still affecting American politics that's happening right now. So this media that we're talking about, the media that we talked about saying that we're red pilled, and, we're the woke people, we know how it is, we know we're beyond 3D, we're looking in 4, right? And all this kind of stuff. And there's all these people, and really, I think the danger sign that you need to see in somebody who is not on the level is if they're acting like they're a prophet, if they're acting like they have special spiritual abilities, if they act like they have knowledge about what reality is. And and I would say, the two people that we're going to focus on today in the next couple of hours or so, I'm going to probably cap this off at 2 hours, or like a little under, is Sarah Rachel Adams, who came on the scene through basically, I would say her big push was the Basis Project. Maybe one of the first videos that anybody ever really saw of Sarah Rachel Adams was part of the Super Soldier Summit that took place at Henderson, Nevada. And then through that, she had a relationship with Max, and post Max passing, she even came into her own even more. And there are a lot of things that are happening surrounding Sarah. And one of them particularly is the fact that she has had this big break with her manager, and who is Taj, from Taj Investigates. And Taj has been posting a few things about Sarah. And then, you have David Schurter, right? Let's go to David Schurter for a second. Came out of the scene through like Lift the Veil, and he wrote a book, and his husband at the time published it because he had a publishing company, and apparently he was nominated for book of the year in a particular contest that he keeps telling people. But his story is that he is a satanic ritual abuse survivor, and he also he's one of those people that uses things that may be out in the media, may have actually really happened, events, and makes them about him, makes even stories that are out there that other people have said, like let's say Kathy O'Brien has a story about George W. Bush being part of the pedo elite that she was abused by. But with David Schroeder, it's also happened to him. So he's adopted every story, every theory, everything has happened to him. And you could say, okay, if somebody wants to be that way or make up stories like that and they're a grifter, yeah, well then fine. Anybody like me can come out and say something about him or point out how ridiculous he might be, right? And the problem with David right now is that he has had several restraining orders. One of which his stepmother has a restraining order on him because she pushed and shoved him, and he was hovering over her head with a butcher knife. So it's not just somebody who wants to say that they are, I've got issues with, I'm a satanic ritual abuse survivor. I'm out there to tell my story because I want to do something about those Nazi satanic child traffickers. He has a history of several restraining orders over the years being administered to him. And I wrote a song about it. It's only 53 seconds, but I'm playing it because you're going to get it might say it better than I'm saying it right now.
I know boy I steps in. Word, yeah, G, dot, nobody, butcher knife steps on. Where am I, man? Bob?
Oh, wait, that's not the one I wanted. Hold on. Sorry. This is it.
Yeah. Butcher knife steps, son. Where? Butcher knife steps, son. Wearing my man bun. Thinking I'm a G-man. Dreaming the pig pen. Nobody has fun. Until I'm done. Yeah. Butcher knife steps, son. Wearing my man bun. Another restraining order. Scum. 2, 3, 4, 5, hit with butcher knife step, son. Don't need gun, I will psycho pump you till you done. Another restraining order, fun. Butcher knife step, son. Wearing my man bun. People say I'm scum. I'm done. Brother knife step, son. Thinking this is fun. Butcher knife step, son.
Okay, so let me point out that you notice that he's talking there's a lyric in there about psycho pumping, right? And so that is something, again, like I mentioned earlier in the stream, if you mentioned it, about how people are manipulated by religion, manipulated by spirituality, the special power, special gifts in the astral belief system, or that permeates in the super soldier program and in related to UFOs as well. I'm a psychic intuitive healer. What does Sarah call herself? A multidimensional healer, whatever, right? So David Schroeder is psychopumps people, meaning that he can, I guess, do things on the other sides. He's claimed that Max Spears, who also has been part of the super soldier, program, right? He can work on the other side because David Schroeder's a shaman. You see what I'm saying here about it? Okay. And I feel like right now, I just want to like point out how people are being manipulated by these grifters who at some point, when you watch them or listen to them speak, they're going to pare down to the dollar. If you look at Sarah Rachel Adams' website, she has all these, she does these interviews, whatever. She puts herself out there. But if you look at her website, she has all these different platforms and ways to join her. And you know what? I've shown a little bit of it in some of my other videos as well. We might look at it again, but I don't really want to be redundant. But, and David Schroeder, it's his book. He can sign his book. He can give it, or he's got problems all the time. Now, this month, he owes $2,000 in back taxes. And so he needs help in losing his house. Last month, it was like he didn't have enough money for his blog. Or I love the one where he is like, he went to the Joanne Fabrics sale because going out of business sale, and he spent $75 on stuff so he could make these bags and sell them for people like at $350 out of old jean material. But whatever, I digress. And he tells his audience, I spent $75 on this fabric that I needed to have and these hooking needles that are the best, and I could get like 3 of them for blank, blank, blank a piece. He goes through this whole litany of the reason why he had to spend his allotted money for his food on Joanne Fabrics, and said he only had $25 left to eat for the rest of the month, and it was like mid-month or something like that, and was begging with for donations because he said he was hungry. And he was talking about how he was eating pasta with butter and garlic salt on it, or garlic, powder. And, that's getting old or whatever. And yet, he's still able to like meet Sherilyn, who's no longer no longer in the fold anymore, fell out over some, like, I don't know, cartridges that are illegal in his state. And he is, use your imagination. We're on YouTube here, and anything about that is bad too as well. So he's sitting there, and he's so now he's accusing her of trying to get him, like, a charge with a felon in Harlan, Iowa, because he's hoping to wake and bake on Super Soldier Sunday. And by the way, if you haven't yet, I would suggest you bake some muffins right now. And so, let's continue here. I have a song for Sarah, Rachel, and I'm going to show you a few videos. We're going to go over, we're going to dissect a few things. We're going to have a little fun, and that's about it. So, there's another song that, I made. This is one's for Sarah. It's called Sarah Lied. And, this is inspired by Sarah Rachel Adams. So I'm going to go ahead and play that.
Sarah the psychic, intuitive healer, the shroom dealer squealer. She almost died. But Sarah lied, no empathy for the past. and fear. Shroom and fear. Shroom and fear. Shroom and fear.
All right, so that is it's another one that's I made a couple of Schumann fairs, but that is well, you know what? Maybe we should just. Well, let me play that there in a moment. Let me just, we can come back to that one because I don't want to, like, you know, I want to acknowledge a couple of things in the chat right now. Paul Shields says, oh yeah, that's right. Welcome, Raven. It's always good to see you here. And Paul Shields says the tragedy is that fake SRA survivors distract and harm the credibility of the true victims. You know what, Paul? I've said that too. It's like David Schroeder out there is harming the validity of satanic ritual abuse. It like he is a clown player, and I've even gone in, and of course people get freaked out by using this terminology, but Judas goat, right? What is a Judas goat? Is somebody who acts like the people that are like, it's a goat acting like a sheep, right? So David Schroeder is a David Schroeder who, you know, some people think David Schroeder is mentally, you know, has mentally ill problems, that he's a danger. I mean, obviously he has a lot of restraining orders. I would say he's probably not mentally well. At the same time, he is very manipulative in his presentation and brings God, and he's, you know, a servant of heaven, and he was trained by Michael Aquino, and, you know, all this stuff. And you know, who's to say what percentage of his followers are real or not? But I think you kind of have to be pretty kind of touched in a little bit in order to actually think that David Schroeder is legitimate. I think that if that most people, and I, you know, probably, how dare you make a generalization, are going to go, maybe not. And I'm going to show you a few clips that I can support my theory on that. Yeah, there are a lot of grifters. And also I think that, I mean, and I'm going to sound, you know, conspiratorial, but I think that I could show a connection on how this works. And let's just say this. David Schroeder just did a video this morning before I started streaming. And, you know, while I was prepping for my show, I kind of had it playing in the background, and I was hearing like a few things. And, you know, today he called me a gatekeeper for her, who I don't know. I don't know who's working under me, or who I would, you know, or I was a gatekeeper media. I really don't know. But all I can say is, for the listener out there, that the only reason why I came into this media is because I had a high curiosity, and I wanted to check things out and validate it for myself. And I'm going to say, I really enjoy busting liars. I don't like liars like David Schroeder. And whether you want to call him crazy or not, he lies daily, does not fact check, and brings anybody into his diatribe, and he's damaging people, and people have restraining orders on him. There's a concern here that as a community, I mean, we can make fun of him all we want and everything like that, or you know, be in his chat and egg him on and get him to say things that whatever he wants, because I do believe that some of that is happening. I'm not saying I don't have any sock puppet accounts. I'm Tere Joyce. I spent a lot of time branding myself as Tere Joyce, or Tere Joyce Randolph as a writer. And you know what? I want people to know who I am and when I say something. And you know what? If you don't like what and there are people that don't like what I have to say, and so be it, because, you know, there's a point where you need to stand by your words. And so, you know, David Schroeder is you know, doing a lot of those things, and he should be. He says, well, you know, investigate these people. No, he should be mirrored or shown in the public in the town square of his devious actions and the harm that he spills out on people. Even though you might find him entertaining, and I do. I mean, like, the thing that gets me now, like, just think about the title of this video. It's called, I mean, the Mexican Munchkin. That is a term that came from David Schroeder. Like, Mexican Munchkin. Like, I don't even know who the Mexican Captain Underpants. He has these colorful names. The Dead Isaac Cappy Club. Apparently, I'm in that. Never met Dead Isaac Cappy, but apparently, I'm in it. So is Suetown, Jesse, Jesse Smith. What he can't even get people. Jesse, that guy's name I can't remember. That David says is also in the Dead Isaac Cappy Club. It's like, well, if you're gonna put people in the Dead Isaac Cappy Club, at least get their name right or know what their name is. Like, DeFango, Chris McKinsey Jones. No, it's McGimpy Jones. McGimpsey. See, I didn't even get it right. Chris McGimpsey Jones. Get it right. If you're going to put people in the category of Nazi global, child traffickers. Oh, he's got Gabe Hoffman right. I mean, that's an easy name, right? I mean, and David Schroeder has a real personal beef with Gabe Hoffman, which we should probably see some of his the things that he wrote about him on, because Gabe Hoffman sent David an email, and then David, has it all out there on his, page. This is the kind of abuse I'm getting from Gabe Hoffman. I think Gabe Hoffman sounds pretty reasonable to, if you ask me. And, it involves his dogs. And I mean, I should probably stop talking and get to the point. But here's the hey, super soldiers too. Yes, a lot of super soldiers are grifters. And I've actually have a few songs that talk about the grifting, and I think I might just play it while I'm looking up, because I want you to see David Schroeder's prayer today. Like, if there's anything entertaining, it would be David Schroeder's prayer. So I think that's the part that I find the most disgusting about David Schroeder is his praying is just not okay. It's just really revolting to me. I just cannot handle it. Okay. Let me go to, I went too far. Gosh, I made so many songs now. I can't remember where they're all at anymore. Isn't that crazy? Okay. It must be in here. No. Yeah, here we go. Okay, yeah, those three are published. Okay, I got it. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of a synopsis, and then I'm gonna grab his video just real quick, and then we're gonna go into it. Just to give you a heads up, like what the plan is here on Not My Rabbit Hole. All right, so it's already queued. I can see it's there. Let's do this. No, that's not the one I published. Wait.
Indigenous storms weaving you the void, drought in your brain, making you insane. Wrapping up Benjamin Fulford, living the absurd like a blue avian nerd, keeping the lines blurred. Captain Mark Richards, a secret space program grifter, getting married while in prison, making you listen, create a new religion, doing the reptilian, making you forget my sins. Super soldier tucks in prison, Nordic and Draco, shape shifting in my Winnebago. Indigenous storms weaving you the void, drought in your brain, making you insane. Grabbing the Benjamin forward, living the absurd like a blue aviator, keeping the lines living like Benjamin forward, living the absurd like a blue aviator, keeping the lines blurred. Rapping like
All right. So that was. So I see Daniel Dowd's streaming right now too as well. So about David Schroeder, but I'm actually adding Sarah to the mix, and so we're not exactly alike on the David Schroeder stuff. So I found David Schroeder, and here I'm just gonna play him praying for a moment. Is it? Here it is. And I'm going to click onto here. This is his morning thing today. And another thing I want to point out too. Come on, I need you to go. Here I'm going to get to where he starts to pray. Okay, is it here yet?
The milkman kid, they got rid of him.
Okay, no, not yet. Here, wait. Okay, hold on. Here he is. Oh my God, he's praying. All right, wait. Let me change this to fair use. It's the worst, guys. I'm telling you, it is. It's the worst, most phoniest, like inappropriate praying I've ever seen anybody do. Okay, so here we go. Wait, go back. Wait, go back more. Go back more. Okay. Okay, here it is. Here we go. Oh wait, let me let the sirens go by. He's wearing a Charlie Brown t-shirt. It's kind of interesting. He kind of has that one sweater where he looks like Charlie Brown sometimes. Okay, so here we go.
But all of this is about child trafficking. It's all about child trafficking. It all needs to be fucking exposed. These motherfuckers need it. And this Famalam thing, I think that Sherilyn is involved with the Shamalam thing. This Famalam thing, it's Famalam. It's a program that Isaac Cappy, I believe it's one of the reasons why they murdered Isaac Cappy. It's being used for child trafficking. That's what
it's not. I'm not. Let it go for a little bit. Sorry.
But Geo in here with all of his stupid shit is trying to hide. And they're obviously well connected. Let me make this prayer.
Here we go.
Wouldn't have listened to the sheriff in
Here
town.
we go.
Really? He has so little authority that he wouldn't have any of that. Hey, thanks, guy. Oh, yeah, we can pray. Because then I'm going to get off here.
Oh, yeah, we can pray. Oh, yeah, we can. Here we go.
Heaven, I come to you. I know that I realized that when I...
Heaven, I come to you. Heaven, like, oh, I got to pray now. Heaven, I come to you with, Yeah, that's a good way to start your prayer off, David.
These prayers. So let me make...
Heaven, like not even God. Heaven, like who's he praying to right now? Here we go.
Prayer in general for all of us. Please allow us to have our eyes open and our ears to hear, and to let us actually have the power of discernment.
Let us let us have the power of discernment. Let us have the power of discernment. Yeah, that is something David should probably pray for.
To actually take in all sides. I'm not saying that I have to be perfect and that I'm the one who actually knows everything. I'm just saying that it needs to be...
Let's just say you're not the one who knows everything. You're not the one who knows everything, David.
Exposed. It needs to be investigated. It needs to be looked
at. Your restraining orders need to be looked at and investigated, David. Yes.
By someone other than me. And
oh, did you see that video where we'll probably play it. There's a video where he says that he can scan people, but it's really creepy. So, again, another special superpower that David Schurter possesses.
I'm just praying that people
and let me just add, for those of you who are still thinking he's great, Nathan Stoltman from Lift the Veil supports David Schurter and told David Schurter that I was never on his show and interviewed by him. So you see the connection here, the fuckery that's going on YouTube. It's like, what are we, stupid? Come on, guys, come on. This is totally a clown show.
Eyes open and their ears open, and at least one brain cell, so that they can start putting the pieces together.
And at least one brain cell. Like I'm sure Heaven is perfectly okay with how insulting and egoic David is about everybody. Like, if you think about spirituality, I thought, even if you want to go a Buddhist, or lots of religions are about losing the ego. Even the New Age world, it's not being defined by an ego. But David is an angry bun-wearing, alleged satanic ritual abuse survivor who really needs to take some lessons on how to properly pray to God. Hey, David, how about you learn the Lord's Prayer? That might be a good way to start on how God wants you to pray to him.
Because the group that I am facing now, others have faced this exact same group in the past who have done the exact same thing to those people as they're doing to me. It's not new. It's not a new game. It's old. And it ends up invalidating and quieting down survivors. And when that happens, evil is actually able to grow and to prosper. And I know it's probably not appropriate to say in this thing, and is
he peeking now? I mean, is he looking around because just pretending like he's praying?
Have to deal with it when I meet my maker, but fuck these people.
Oh, God loves that. Oh my goodness. Amen. But fuck these people. Amen. Jesus, and in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Fucking, oh my God, just fuck them. We're grateful that you sent your son, our brother, down.
But fuck these people. We're grateful that you sent your son to come down, but fuck these people. Fuck these people.
Jesus Christ. And not one of us measure up to who he was. But we're glad to
none of us do, David. That's the truth. We don't measure up to who he was.
Have the example to at least try to emulate. And we're grateful that he sent us the word, even though right now in this day and age, sometimes it's hard.
We're grateful he sent us the word. Are you, David? Are you now? Are you?
Your heart was love.
Although nobody follows it. I don't even follow it. Like that part in the Ten Commandments, well, that was Moses, not Jesus. But, that part in the Ten Commandments where it says, thou shalt not bear false witness. Fuck that. I'm David Schurter.
And so, but fill us with grace as much as you can. And help us to take a stand. Right.
Fill us with grace as much as you can and help us understand.
And take a stand.
That I have a problem with the Mexican Munchkin.
We say these things lovingly in your son, our brother's name, Jesus Christ.
And our brother's name, Jesus.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, that's the prayer. And I'm going to end it with that because I think it's good to end it with prayer. Thank you for reminding me of that.
You know what? Yeah. Thank you so much. You should have heard the disgusting, vile things he said about people. The lies the sinning he did, really technically, on this entire episode. And then he wants to end it with a prayer where he says, fuck these people. That's how he prays. No, David, those are statements. And then you pretended like you were talking to God while you were doing it. Your prayer is literally abusive to people and a threat. That's how dangerous you are to yourself and other people. I'm just saying. Okay, let's move on off of that. Please allow us to have our ears closed. I'm sorry, Raven. I should give a warning, on that. Yeah, I really should. I apologize for not, doing that properly. And bear in mind too, this particular video probably will be like edited and reformatted. Like this stream is probably going to be chopped up for other things, and I might even retitle this video. I couldn't decide what to do because like the whole Mexican munchkin thing was, David's been talking about this Mexican munchkin. I'm like, who the hell is he talking about? Is he talking about Defango? Because if I was Defango, I would be really pissed. Okay. I mean, and here's the deal. If you really, how come there aren't Mexican munchkins? Why aren't there any Mexican munchkins? And if there was Mexican munchkins in the actual movie of the Wizard of Oz, it would the Mexican munchkin would probably have been played by a white person. That's how screwed up Hollywood is. So David, when you bring up Mexican munchkins, for me, I talk about culture appropriation in Hollywood. All right. But, even then, I suspect it's Defango is the Mexican munchkin, because I can't think any other like short Mexican in our group that would qualify. Okay, I'm just kidding, because I kind of like Defango. Like maybe in the past when we were younger, I might have broken him off a piece if I was like really drunk and he was funny enough. Anyway, let's move on. And guys, that's a joke. You can soundbite that, motherfuckers. All right. This is later on in the show where I can maybe say like a few swear words. Good morning. If David Schurter can, swear in his prayer to God, I think maybe I can say an MF or two on this episode, because it's already screwed. You think God comes down and goes, you know what? I don't think this prayer is rated GP, your prayer is rated R. Your prayer is NC-17, David Schurter. Raven says, will the real Mexican munchkin stand up? Yes, please. Will the real, like, it could be like, what was that? Remember that show that used to be like who the celebrity was, or who the person, who am I? Who is it? Or whatever that. And the people go, I am known as the Mexican munchkin. I'm on the internet and I wiggle my eyes real wide and back and forth. And I used to play. I say that I found the spear of destiny. Who am I? Sorry. See, you know what? I really wanted to do a show today just so that I can entertain myself and make myself laugh. Because like when I heard him say Mexican munchkin, my imagination went crazy. And I was having a good time all by myself when I first heard it. So that's really why, I called this thing, the Mexican munchkin, and I made a few, different thumbnails. One of them had a picture of Sarah Rachel, plus guest starring Sarah Rachel Adams, because I couldn't figure out how to put, Sarah into this conversation. Like, how did these two people connect? Well, she's got spirituality too. And, I'm going to play another Sarah song. No, another Super Soldier song. While I pull up a video on Sarah Rachel Adams. Just a second. Oh, this is a song. That one's too harsh. That one's too harsh. I can't do that to you. Maybe it's this one.
Extraterrestrial hybrid.
Wait, did I share the screen? Oh, I did. Okay. Sorry. Let me start it again. Extraterrestrial hybridized DNA. These are all buzzwords that are used by the super soldier community in their mythology or their folklore of their stories. Here we go.
Extraterrestrial hybridized DNA. Don't need to worry about tooth decay. Kevin Spacey and his clone are feeling alone. Men who stare at goats. The Vril Society road. Super Soldier Sunday, just another fun day. 75 years on Mars, lying about the stars. Captain Richard charms like Charles Manson's gun. Liars in the sun. Liars in the sun. Monsters in the sun. Montauk, super soldier talk, super space program. Let's jam. Montauk, super soldier talk, super space program. Let's jam.
All right, welcome back to Not My Rabbit Hole. If you're through and joining us right now, thank you and welcome. Raven, yeah, we were just talking about the Mexican Munchkin and David Schroeder and showing a really horrific prayer that I'm pretty sure probably Raven wants to erase from her memory. Hi, Paul. You like that song? Thanks. You know what? Ben Emlyn Jones likes that one too. Yeah, I think that one. I'm going to. It's the most popular one. I think I'm going to do like an actual video of it, like a visual video of it for YouTube out there. Maybe I'll like do clips of like Corey Good and everything, like, visuals in it. It might David Wilcock. It might be interesting. Because I read the like one of my assignments in my creative writing classes, I have to do something creative every day. And I've decided to do something creative about Not My Rabbit Hole, whether it's a live stream, a video, or something written in my Substack daily to keep me on track with Not My Rabbit Hole. So it's the Book of Alchemy, a creative practice for an inspired life. So maybe I can make that one of my assignments and do a video of it. That would be good to have that one be one of my daily exercises for my commitment to do something every day for Not My Rabbit Hole. Anyway, I found the video with Sarah, and again, I'm using fair use. We are just educating the public on this. I was looking. First of all, like Cash Investigates has some interesting videos up about Sarah. I heard he did. What's the guy's name? Quincy Thomas. The guy goes by God's Gladiator. I think he interviewed Taj a while ago. I don't know if it's on. I'm hearing that Taj shared it on his Facebook, but I have Taj blocked actually, so I didn't see it, but apparently he's done an interview with somebody about. I'm hearing that he's in an interview about Sarah and their breakup between each other, and I've also looked into, in my last video on Sarah, I showed Taj showing a conversation with Brian Sang, who's also very much a part of this media now. For me, Brian Sang, he came to the defense of Sarah. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to close that. Let me go to my history really quick and pop that back up again. Okay, I want this. Okay, yeah, I want that. Okay. I guess I can close this one out. All right, so we're looking at Sarah here, and first of all, Sarah, look, let's just face it. Sarah has gone through a transformation, really. I think it's interesting that her hair, I believe that's a rose gold color. I know because I do my hair that color or have done that color in the past. So it's kind of, I'm like, well, is Sarah trying to be like me? Because I'm popping that for a long time. Although right now I'm enjoying my own white hair that I have. Obviously a lot of work done, a lot of changes to her face has gone on. She spent a lot of money. You can tell. I mean, you don't get tatas, for free. But anyway, lots of changes. This is fair use. We're educating the public. Now, this is from a show. Let me bring this down. And this is an interesting channel too, by the way, and I'll make sure that I link them in the description. It's titled "The Shocking Connection Between AI and Spirituality." Sarah Adams, DSH, and it's the Digital Social Hour. Now, I saw on Taj's platform that he was saying Sarah paid over $8,000 to be on this show. So I don't know if that's factual or not. That seems an awful lot of money to pay to get exposure to be on somebody's show, and it's really kind of unheard of that a guest would actually make pay people to be on your show. It's not common, but hey, I mean, I don't know. So, but he did post something like this, but the guy's got 1.1 million subscribers. So they are a big fish in putting on people like Sarah or people that are talking about this type of information, UFOs, spirituality, everything, super soldier, whatever, this conversation. Somehow this channel is like a big fish, probably one of the bigger fishes out of anybody looking into and putting on people like Sarah. Now, I don't know if this is like a mockery. There could be an element of like, we don't care. This is we don't judge. We just listen. But when you watch him as an interviewer, it seems like he believes her and he's agreeing with her. And it's interesting that Sarah is covering the topic of AI and spirituality. AI is a big deal right now. First of all, I just want to say, I just realized, because it's one of the things that is written on the Fresno State website, because the students at Fresno State are being allowed to use something called ChatGPT EDU, a ChatGPT program that is specifically for students that has certain limitations, trying to have the student have academic integrity and learn how to use it, in research and this and that in the proper way. Anyway, so that being said, there's a description of what AI is. And AI is a language model that mimics the thinking of the human mind. So basically, AI is been programmed to be cognitive and learning like a human mind is. And in that, AI can, do a song like I just played, or let me put lyrics in and then I put in a prompt what kind of sound I want that to have, what genre I want that to have. It's the same thing with like doing a picture. Like, I showed earlier today, there's a picture that I have on one of my videos and the thumbnail says hidden connections. I asked for ChatGPT to create that for me based on the research that I was doing. If I did a podcast, could you create me a thumbnail? And it gave me that. You know, you can brainstorm ideas, like the shocking connection between, the word shocking is often used by AI clips and stuff like this. You know, like I think even this guy, and there's nothing wrong with it, might have been inspired by the title by AI in this. Anyways, and then it's called the Digital Social Hour. So if she is bringing in AI, which is digital, right? And also spirituality. I should have done a little bit more background on this guy, and maybe like on another video, we'll recap this with more information. But right now, let's just play a little bit of this interview and just see how, you know, Sarah has always brought in a spiritual aspect into her grift.
I always tell people, listen, in religion, they tell you you're
okay. This is like her promo thing. I don't want his music. So I'm going to start it here.
Mars and Venus.
Okay, maybe here. Darn it.
Spirits that were incarnated into the
okay, here we go.
spirits. When they went into the bodies, they were not able to keep the connection.
I want more back
A
here.
long time ago, we were all energy. We were in nothingness. We were everything. And then us being energy, we decided, and we're all one. This is the thing. We decided that we were going to create these playgrounds. We were going to create creation. So we're all God. And what we've decided to do is to then manifest into spirit. So then we manifested into spirits. That's where you get the angels, the fairies, different spirits. As we manifested into spirits, we then kept manifesting. We manifested and manifested until we got to the first physical creation that was created. So we came down levels. Think about that, from energy to spirit to physical form. And the first creation was created. This creation was, think about a potter. When you first become a potter, how you create your first piece of clay, right? It's not going to be perfect because it's your first piece. Well, that was the first material 3D physical creation that the spirits created. They created bodies to go into. What happened is that the spirits...
So, you know, this is Sarah telling you the creation of humanity. Forget like Charles Darwin or natural selection or any sciences or anything like that. And, you know, don't look at, you know, there's also creationism. There's also the Bible. You know, forget about it. This is Sarah with her rose gold hair and the silicone tatas is like telling everybody and the injectable lips, but you know, I mean, she's telling everybody that we are spirits coming in. This is the beginning. She's going to go into you know, beings, spiritual beings coming into the physical body and all this kind of stuff. Here we go. Hold on here. Hold on.
When they went into the bodies, they were not able to keep the connection to what you would say is God, which is this divine force. And in the material body, they got lost. And that divine...
So God is a divine source. Okay, it's source. This is a lingo. See, source is like, oh, I spoke to source. I'm divine. These are all new age terminology. This is not, and also this is really nothing new. Like anybody who's looked into this or has come up through it knows that Sarah is retreading things, pretty much like David Schroeder does in his diatribe about satanic ritual abuse. He goes through the tropes, he goes through all the stories of all the, you know, MK Ultra people, you know, everything, every conspiracy belongs to him. Sarah takes everything out there and puts her own fabric in it, and we get it spun. Now it's AI and spirituality. 10 years ago, it would have been, the word AI wouldn't have been in it. It would have been, you know, 3D and spirituality or something like that. The red pill of spirituality. It would have had a different buzzword, a different hit in the algorithm of grabbing people to listen.
Divided off from God's source and from the spirits that were in the spirit realm. What happened is that creation collapsed on itself. And guess what? When that collapsed on itself, it fell into frequencies that had not been experienced before. That's where you have the creation of hell, the underworld in Egyptian mythology. And in different cultures, they call, you know, hell, the underworld, different names. It's all the same thing. What happened is the spirits that were incarnated into those bodies, because they got stuck in those bodies, they didn't know.
You know, that that little bracelet looks tight. It looks too tight for her. She needs a bigger bracelet.
They didn't know how to basically reconnect to the realm of the spirits and to God consciousness, Christ consciousness. They mutated. They became very starved and hungry, and that's where you have demons, Watiko, archons. There's different names, jinn, for these beings. That was the first creation, physical, material creation, 3D creation, that collapsed. What happened is that the spirits, the light spirits, said, we have a problem. We need to go ahead and contain this issue, because these beings, they're in these bodies collapsed, they mutated, and they became very vampiric. And they are now a danger to other creation and us. So what they did is they quarantined that creation, which again is called hell or the underworld. That's how hell was first created.
Wow.
So then what happened is that the light spirit said,
and he goes, wow. Like as if anybody didn't read C.S. Lewis, or, you know, we don't know about the Book of Enoch or the Nephilim or the fallen angels. Wow, I've never heard this before. How does this relate to AI?
Okay, listen, we're going to create again. We're going to create this 3D. Yeah, hey, we didn't do it right the first time. We're going to do another creation, create another creation. And basically, with the other one quarantined, we can go and fix that one at some point when we realize, when we figure out how the 3D works. Think about the 3D physical matter. You're so used to being in spirit that 3D physical matter is a whole different game. So they were like, okay, we're going to fix that eventually. So then they created other creations they went into. Problem is that creation that had been quarantined, it basically seeped out and it consumed a couple of creations, getting bigger and bigger. That's where we have also the myths of the Titans. And then you have Leviathan, which I have encountered.
And creation got bigger. You know, it's like, well, really, if you want to go into like how people really, how there's a theory is that the Nephilim came, the fallen angels out of heaven dropped, and they mated with the women, and they made men of renown, which were the giants. And there's also, when you look at, you know, like the Book of the Dead, and you look at Egyptian, you know, the bird head and the man and the, you know, the staff, that's also possibly a version of that happening, where it's the fallen angels and the Nephilim from heaven. She gets into like aquatic beings, like this is how the aquatic happened and this and that. Okay. Mermaids.
And also encountered the Lovecraft, I guess you could put Lovecraft beings. The one, he's an octopus, he's larger than Earth. They're in other realms contained. So basically we get to the creation of Mars and Venus. Okay, so then the spirits are like, okay, they created this creation where Mars was inhabited.
The Trilite from Therasage is no joke. Medical grade red and near infrared.
Okay, so he does, and which I find interesting about this, because we did a show on med beds, and I looked into the LED lights and everything like this, and this is a product that he is selling. I'm going to show a little bit of it because it's important to note that these types of products are starting to come through these channels of media. All right. Now, again, like an LED could be medical grade. There are medical grade applications for this. Just make sure that my advice to you, and because I've been looking into it, is make sure that it really is FDA approved, and because the patent can be given to a product, and then the FDA can approve its use of that patent. So just make sure that you're getting something that's really, really good, and it is what it says it is. And I'm not sure. I haven't really researched this product, but I'm going to show you a little bit of what he's showing.
Red light with 3 frequencies per light, deep healing, real results, and totally portable. It's legit. Photo biomodulation tech in a flexible on-body panel.
Now, photobio or biophoton is a backwards use of what people normally say, or it's a buzzword in this that can be somewhat pseudoscience.
This is the Trilite from Therasage, and it's next level red light therapy. It's got 118 high-powered polychromatic lights, each delivering 3 healing frequencies.
How is it next level?
Red and near infrared from 580 to 980 nanometers. Optimal penetration, enhanced energy, skin rejuvenation, pain relief.
It can. The LED lights can rejuvenate your skin. I've been looking into different products. I've been researching this. This is a fascinating a time, where the different, and this one too, this device too, this is kind of interesting. I don't know about this, but it's this.
Therasage. It's a portable ozone and negative ion therapy in one. It boosts oxygen, clears and sanitizes the air, and even helps your mood. It's a total game changer at home or on the go. This little device is the Thera O3 Ozone Module by Therasage, and it's one of my favorite wellness tools. In the sauna, it boosts ozone absorption through your skin up to 10 times, oxygenating your blood and supporting deep detox. Outside the sauna.
Okay, I'm interested in the science in that. If that's what is behind that, that's kind of fascinating to me. But I'm not going to make a judgment on that right now. Let us go a little bit more into Sarah here too. So let's just continue a little bit more.
According to it, and Saturn creates time and reality. The rings around Saturn, and so what you would call Atlantis, Lemuria, there are other names for it again, was the span of planets that were inhabited. They were flourishing. They were not what you see today. They were tropical. We traveled among the planets. The elemental spirits of water, earth, fire, they all listened to us. They listened to us because we had the 5th element, that was that of love. They listened to us because of this. But remember, there was that ancient force that had been locked away, and it was growing and growing and growing.
And notice that she talked about and it's the 5th element of love. She brings it in. That's part of it. That was a movie, right? I mean, that was a Bruce Willis film. Come on. So, and this is another thing that people in this genre of media, that they always they pull things from movies as if it's part of our actual spirituality. That terminology gets linked. It's an easy way to get people to identify with something or a theme of something. Raven says, I hate it when people state things as fact when it's their opinion. Yeah, so do I. And I really think that it's important to call people out on that. It's really because if people just on anything, whether you're lying about somebody or you're actually, saying that this product does this, what's really the difference in it? Paul Shields says, trace ozone may be good for you, but too much is toxic. Oh, really? Trace ozone may be good for you, but too much is toxic. really, how come? Like, what happens if it's too much? What happens? Can you? You don't have to elaborate. I'm just curious on what you know about it. Okay, so here we go.
The king of Atlantis, from what I remember, and some of the other masters.
The king of Atlantis, from what I remember. So, what Sarah is saying is that she knows her soul's back from Atlantis. She's been part of it. She elevates herself into this higher being status for people in her grift, and it's the same thing that David Schroeder does. He is right there with God, doing God's work. Heaven is with him. Heaven backs him. He's a shaman, and he can psychopump people. He can psychopump Max Spears or Virginia Giuffre. You see what I'm saying here?
And by the way, back then we didn't have elite leaders that were elected because of, their families or because of money or status. Our leaders on planets were who were the most conscious. And who were the advanced, the most conscious? Guess what? The very planet would listen to, because each planet that you see as a physical planet, 3D planet, is actually a spirit, an ancient spirit, an orb of light.
Wow. So it's a living thing, you're
Yes,
saying,
our
a
planets
planet.
are living.
Of course it's a living thing. Of course it is. Because there's life all over the planet. Like, that's just like a given. Of course we're alive right now. It's a living thing. This is also reminds me of Barbara Milchuk, who wrote the series about the Pleiadians. Like, life is like Earth is a living library, from all these different planets, possibly beings from all over come here. By the way, speaking of what is that? There's like this, what is it, 231 or something like that? There's something coming to Earth,
And these spirits listen.
and a trajectory, and they're saying it might actually be extraterrestrial. Have you been? It's alien. Have you been following that, you guys? Okay, I'm not saying it right, but T231 or something like that.
To the leader who was the most advanced consciousness. There were no storms. There were people and beings who lived for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. You hear about these myths in the Bible. You hear about these myths all across the world. What creates physical matter is condensed energy. That's how these planets are formed. Spirit beings, they literally have the ability to tell energy to condense, and that creates a planet or a sphere of energy, an ancient spirit. So each planet had a leader. Again, that leader being elected because of its advanced consciousness, and all the spirits. And everything.
Is that what we've done with our leaders being elected? Do we think they have advanced consciousness?
Everything is spirit. The forest is spirit. The sky is spirit. Even on this planet, everything is spirit.
Spirit in the sky.
Would listen to these leaders. So these leaders,
and this is very pagan too, right? I mean, this is also very pagan. I'm just saying it is. The spirit of the spirit. Also, indigenous people believe in spirits in the land and everything. So this also is not new. There's nothing new under the sun here. Not even your hair, Sarah.
Decided that because they were aware of the first creation that collapsed, that they needed to go ahead and fix that first creation. They're like, we have our ancient kin in that creation. They're lost, and we need to go ahead and we need to help them. So what happened, and by the way, Earth was Noah's Ark. Earth was the newest planet. And the sun comes from Saturn. And I'll tell you, so Saturn used to have this ball of light within this sphere of light within itself, and the sun's light was the sphere of light that was inside of Saturn originally. So anyhow, again, they created Earth. Earth was like the USB backdrop, what you would say, hard drive. Like, you put your USB with your little key in to like back up everything. Earth was that. So each planet gave creation.
Oh, wait. Is this the AI part of the conversation here? Did somebody mention thumb drive?
to Earth. So Neptune gave the dolphins, and because it was the aquatic life, and then Venus and so on, till we had Earth. And even with Earth, they gave a part of the essence of each planet. That's why if you go to places like Sedona, the Earth is red because that's from Mars.
Really?
Yes.
I was just there. Wow.
Mars, Sedona, cha-cha-cha.
So it was not a planet to be meant to live on. It was just like a backup planet to save all the creation. Information, knowledge, and DNA. Okay, so then what happened is the leaders were like, listen, we need to go ahead and we need to connect back to this fallen creation and kill it. So I remember living on Mars. I remember traveling. I was on Venus for a while. I remember traveling the planets. I was sent here specifically for this. I go in and out of my body. So I was sent here literally for this, to help shift the timeline because of where we're headed.
There we go. There it is, right? I was sent here from Mars to shift the timeline. I'm going to shift the timeline. I'm going to shift the timeline.
The leaders decided that they were going to open a portal to this ancient creation and channel light back through it to heal it, because when something is distorted, it needs light to heal or energy to heal. I have an abilities. I advised against it because I saw that something was going to happen and that we did not have the ability at that point to be able to deal with that creation. Regardless, they opened the portal. That force came through it within a
They opened a portal.
matter of, you would say, one day Earth's time. It infected everyone, sort of possession. It caused them to war among each other, and it started to infect each planet. And it even started to eat each planet, the core energy of each planet. So the planet started to die. The planets, being spirits, all connected among each other, realized that to save 3D creation in this universe, they needed to do something, to do it quickly. Saturn threw his light across space, and what happened is that pushed back this force, and that also gave enough light to ward it away from Earth. They put a shield around planet Earth, and whatever beings that remained not being eaten or swallowed by that force resorted to incarnate and in bodies on this planet.
Wow.
Others went to the higher realms to evacuate until a solution could be made. Saturn.
My goodness, this would be a wonderful screenplay. Anyway, I wanted to share a little bit of Sarah's grift there. And there's something else though that came to mind, and with that, I'm gonna maybe play just an intermittent song here again. Let me see, what can I find that might be interesting, that would be pertain to today. Oh, I don't know. I kind of just like this song, really. All right, let me see. Dark Prayer. God, no lie. Well, listen, this is another one I wrote, inspired by Sarah. Let's go with that, since we're still on Sarah.
Sarah the psychic, intuitive healer, the shroom dealer squealer. She almost died, but Sarah lied. mercy for the past. Just wicked spells she casts and poops the shower. Shroom and fear. Shroom and fear. Shroom and fear.
All right, so yeah, that was another song dedicated to Sarah Adams. All right, so a couple things I want to say. One is I did look up. There is no confirmed or credible information suggesting a celestial object designated T234 is coming to Earth. However, there's a significant discussion surrounding a recently discovered third interstellar object named 331 Atlas, or 32025 times 1, which is currently passing through our solar system. This comet, discovered in July 2025, is considered a threat to Earth, but systems are rare scientific opportunity to study a visitor from outside the solar system. It's seen as not a threat, no threat of impact with Earth. But there's a lot of people talking about this, saying that, it's possibly an alien spaceship, and, this and that. And, I want to play, I know I'm going off the beat here, but since we've been looking at David Schroeder, we've been looking at his spirituality, I think I'm going to retitle this video like spirituality grifters today, and just make it David and Sarah Rachel Adams, because they're both shucking, like David has a bastardized version of Christianity, and Sarah Rachel Adams has a bastardized version of New Age, anything that would be New Age, basically. Every story, and plus, both people put themselves at the center of where am I here? Both people put themselves at the center of abilities. They not only are they pushing a narrative to manipulate their viewers into believing something and believing things about other people while they do it, but they're also selling a product or merch while they're doing it. And so I found, however,
this is again from inside the intelligence community, most of what we think we're seeing are avatars, biological robots that are basically put there to be the minions, if you will.
Hey guys, it's KJ from The Scariest Movie Ever.
So I thought that part was really interesting, the dialogue that's out there, and also, it's you really can't. Aliens are very much part of our spirituality. Now, Sarah was talking about Saturn, and it just so happened that he covered a little bit of Saturn here. Hold on.
East Coast in late 2024, along with several sightings of unidentified drones around the secretive Air Force base in December 2024. Federal officials now say a black cube-shaped craft was spotted by a nearby airplane less than 80 miles from Wright-Patterson. But the black cube, this world is, the language of symbols is an absolutely real thing. It's a real concept. As Confucius once said, this
I
world
can't
is
remember if I actually played the Black Cube part, but in that interview with Sarah, she does talk about it. She talks about Saturn, Satan. She also goes into, and I was wanting to let it play long enough, but I don't want to use too much of that guy's footage really, because I'm wanting it to be fair use. But there's this part where she's talking about like Vegas being lower astral, but it wasn't Mars, but the desert is desert is evil. But look, biblically, we've always been talking about the desert. Jesus went to the desert for 40 days and 40 nights, as even like a spiritual testing, going to the desert and seeing if you don't get tempted to compromise yourself because you're so wanting the material well-being and essence or whatever, relief from whatever you're suffering from, by compromising yourself by the devil or Satan or whatever. We the snake. It's all part of our culture and religions and folklore and stories that we have as human beings. Sarah waves those in. I mean, like it's not new. It's actually a literary trope, because look, even Stephen King wrote about it, and on that story, and when it takes place in Vegas, things happen in Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And by the way, just so everybody knows, David Schroeder's always telling people that I'm partying with the barely legal people in Vegas. I assure you, I'm in the heat of Fresno, California, as I am speaking at this moment. Those things are not. Also, that is a YouTube fallacy. It's a David YouTube fallacy.
not ruled by rules nor laws, but by signs and symbols. And the black, strange pyramid spotted above the Pentagon.
More
you can
sightings,
just kind
or
of make
set
it
of
out right
sightings.
there. And if you go find the video, you'll see the same thing. It's almost transparent, the pyramid. This right here is from Fox News. It's another example of how they were covering the story of these flying pyramids and other things, Tic Tacs, I think they call them. Images leaked from Pentagon investigations show UFOs swarm above Navy destroyer. And as you can see, there's some of the Tic Tacs. But then there's the flying pyramids you can see here. And isn't it interesting? And, there's other articles on this. They really covered these flying pyramids and these other UFO sightings extensively compared to that massive UFO pyramid sighting over the Pentagon. And here's another example of pyramid-shaped UFOs spotted by Navy, maybe the best the world has ever seen, filmmaker says, which I'm pretty sure is Jeremy Corbell. And as we scroll down, once again, we have the flying pyramids here.
Christine, yeah, so this filmmaker, he just released this video that was taken by the U.S. Navy. He says that this is the best UFO video that has ever been released to the public, but there are a lot more questions than our answers.
Who are they? Where are they from? And what is their intent?
All questions that immediately come to mind with a mention of UFOs.
We are now at a tipping point. It is time to let the public know what is known. No matter how big or small, what is known about the UFO presence on planet Earth.
LA-based investigative filmmaker Jeremy Corbell recently released this video taken by the Navy, showing what he describes as pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the San Diego coast in July of 2019.
Over the last month or so, you may have heard about.
Okay, so I wanted to and this let's just keep this going here. This is what and I'm going to play this. Yeah, he does talk about this. I remember. So let me play this part too as well. And I want to address Paul Shields has made a few comments in the chat, and so I just want to address what he's sharing here. I asked him about the oxidation device, and he says that it's a strong oxidizer, so it works as a disinfectant, but can cause damaged tissue. He also says OSHA limit is 0.2 ppm over an 8-hour workday. And thank you for that information. I appreciate that. He also says this new interstellar object 3 Atlas is almost certainly a comet. And he says connect I9N 0.02 milligrams / M3 - 0.1 ppmv. So I'm not sure what that means actually, but I'm sure some people probably does. It sounds good. But so why did I do that? Okay, so let's go back to what he's this commenting here. Harvard astronomers warns interstellar object moving towards Earth could save us or destroy us. That's where that's coming in, that save us, destroy us thing that AI is trying to say. By the way, AI can hallucinate and be biased. It's like, again, it's a language model thinking like the human brain when it's viewing, the information. Okay, so just bear in mind about that. If we're going to talk about AI spirituality here,
this new interstellar object moving towards the Earth, they're calling it 31 Atlas, I believe. 31 Atlas. It's approaching the Earth. And I'm starting to see a bit of a setup here, and it's something I first thought of when I heard this story. It reminded me of Oumuamua. I think that's how you pronounced it. There was another interstellar object heading towards the Earth they noticed a few years ago.
Anyway,
but this is to stay ready, as it may come to save us or destroy us.
So basically it says A.V. Loeb, the chairman of the astronomy department at Harvard, has suggested that a Manhattan-sized interstellar object, which has been discovered speeding through our cosmic neighborhood, could have an alien origin. He is advised to stay ready, as it may prove to save us or destroy us, the Independent reported. Loeb is pointing towards 31 Atlas, which first spotted by a Chile-based telescope, which is a part of the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System Atlas. Initially, it appeared as an unknown asteroid that was on planet approaching the Earth's orbit. It's just kind of interesting to hear. Here's a little bit of a news clip on it. We'll show this really quick.
That we observe from this object is reflection of sunlight. Its size needs to be bigger than Manhattan Island, 20 kilometers or so. And there isn't enough rocky material in interstellar space to deliver a rock of that size earlier than 10,000 years from now. So the question is, what is it? And its orbit, the trajectory that it takes, is aligned with the plane of the planets around the sun to within 5 degrees. That's a chance of 1 in 500. And moreover, the timing.
What does that tell you? What does that trajectory tell you?
Well, it indicates that perhaps it was designed by some intelligence.
That's something steering it.
Not necessarily, but the trajectory itself was chosen to be such that this object will pass close to Mars, Venus, and Jupiter. The chance of that happening, the timing of its arrival is perfect for that, with a likelihood of 1 in 20,000. And so I'm just saying we should observe it. It doesn't look like it's a random occurrence. The size, the trajectory, the fact that it comes so close to 3 planets in our solar system, and actually it comes closest to the sun on October 29th, when the Earth would be on the other side of the sun. We won't be able to observe it.
What you're looking at here is a video from the United States Space Force, and even the fact that they create.
Okay, so I just wanted to share that. I thought that was kind of interesting. I just thought it was interesting. All right, so I'm gonna probably repop this video and rename it. So I hope. I think I'm going to call it something different, but Paul Shields was here today in the chat, and Raven was here today, and thanks for being here. If anybody who watches this later and you want to support Not My Rabbit Hole, here's the ticker tape on how to do it. Also, check out the description. If you want to buy me coffee, I'm at buymecoffee.com/Tere Joyce. We are finishing out the summer. I hope that everybody stays cool, safe, and happy. And until next time, God bless.
He ain't no Saint Germain, no crown, no name. He plays the game sharp as a flame. Who's to blame for the stolen fame? A shadow dance in the devil's frame. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on a stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lulz, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. City lights and sirens scream, truth and lies blend like a dream. Wicked smiles, a clever scheme, chasing gold in the neon gleam. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lulz, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. Fast, can't find the ground. Echoes of chaos all around. You chose this dance, this mad parade, but not every choice gets accolades. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lulz, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. Laughing loud, all for the lulz, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. City lights and sirens scream, truth and lies blend like a dream. Wicked smiles, a clever scheme, chasing gold in the neon gleam. Going down the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole.